All eyes in Delaware watched the forecast as Superstorm Sandy raced up the East Coast before making a very rare left turn towards the first state.
Well, we were scared to death.
Bethany Beach Mayor Jack Gordon remembers the fear. He also remembers the relief as the storm jogged a bit north and made a direct hit in New Jersey, mostly sparing Delaware.
The mindset back then was, wow, if it hits as close as it was supposed to, we were scared. And so while you're never happy that what happened, it was much nicer for us that it went way up in New Jersey as opposed to here.
This one was weird and different because it wasn't a hurricane, but it was packing more of a punch than a lot of hurricanes, and part of it was where it was going to fall on land.
Even without a direct hit, Sandy caused lots of damage in Delaware. It caused record flooding, dropping nearly 11 inches on parts of Sussex County.
Saw a lot of flooding, a lot of breaching of dunes. Just general impact, mainly more from the water. What it did was just to underscore the vulnerability that we have in our state.
Delaware got about $8 million in federal disaster money to do things like repair dunes and upgrade jetties like this one at the Mispillion Harbor near Slaughter Beach.
We probably got in the neighborhood about $8 million. A lot of it went towards dealing with some jetties and things that will help protect wetlands. Wetlands being really our first and best buffer against storms like this.
And while the state is vulnerable to hurricanes like Sandy, it's fall and winter nor'easters that typically do the most damage here. That's a concern for Mayor Gordon as he awaits the start of a dune replenishment project scheduled for early next year.
The last big nor'easter we had was in January of 2016. And that was one that really did the beach in. And so we just want to make sure that it starts early enough so that they can complete the whole job. Because the south end of our boardwalk has no dune protection at all down there. In fact, you can't tell the difference between the beach and the dune, so you can't tell people to keep off the dune if they don't know where it is.
The $17 million beach replenishment will pump sand onto Bethany, South Bethany, and Fenwick Island beaches from an offshore location. But that offshore underwater area was hit hard by Sandy too. University of Delaware professor Art Trembanis studies the ocean floor and puts sensors in place off Delaware's coast just as Sandy approached the state.
It just looked like something or somebody had attacked the seafloor with malice, like a cat had sort of scratched at the seabed, and we could see areas where it was very, very, dug into, that scour and erosion had taken place.
These maps show subway cars and sunken ships that form an artificial reef off Delaware. After Sandy, some subway cars were moved, others destroyed.
We saw subway cars that were rotated, others that were just obliterated and smashed by the storm. So it would have been a very difficult time to have been any kind of creature living on the seafloor.
The UD research demonstrates how the ocean floor affects how waves build offshore before they slam into beaches, dunes, and structures.
So it's really important if we're going to try to improve our models and our predictive capabilities for where different structures, different portions of the beach are going to be affected, that we know what's going on offshore to be able to model that last little bit.
And as beach replenishment projects get underway, it's a reminder that changing the shape of the sand underwater can have big impacts on the land.
Those subaqueous sand dunes tend to have a very nice composition, so coarse sands, maybe some gravel, stuff that makes it very attractive as a beach nourishment material. So it's very you would think, well, let's go harness that. Well, once you do that, now you've changed the offshore bathymetry, and maybe you're letting deeper waves come closer to the shore, and so there is a trade-off there.
So while it's calm today, state leaders remain focused on improving Delaware's ability to withstand the next Sandy.
Delaware is the lowest lying state in the nation, and so these impacts on these storms are going to be potentially devastating, and we saw that, and I think Sandy really underscored to people that this is real, and that we really need to be taking steps to try to be more resilient as a state.